bear with me. So with the recent patch, the Obsidian Lamia, what was it called? Obsidian Lamina, got a lot more powerful because it allows you to basically like the one of the notions, or rather one of the things that they have been doing as it pertains to the DLC weapons compared to the their base game counterparts. I fucked that up. Is the base game, the weapons in Shadow of the Erdtree are a lot more movement centric. So one of the things that FromSoft has kind of, I feel, been moving towards in terms of game design is they are looking at something like Monster Hunter and taking more inspiration and feels from that. In Monster Hunter, your every attack involves movement. It is a very movement focused game. You know, dodging, moving, pushing forward, all of that stuff was always a huge aspect of FromSoft's game design, you know, as early as Demon's Souls or Dark Souls. You know, like they wanted you to play Dark Souls, you know, dodge centric and stuff like that, and people didn't really pick up on that until Bloodborne. Now, with that, like, you know, Shadow of the Erdtree, like they wanted to make bosses that, you know, you were supposed to do with more people. They wanted to make they are trying to move the FromSoft formula into a more, you know, cooperative, more movement focused. So, you know, to show a decent example of this, let's take a look at these two sites, right? So here is the wing site. This is one of the better sites of the base game. This is the attack for it. Okay. And then here is the attack for the Obsidian Lamia. Doesn't really seem that different, right? Well, what the difference comes for these is things like the Ashes Core. You know, part of the reason the wing scythe is really good is because it has, you know, some better scaling, even if Holy is kind of mid, and like even the spinning slash of the base game is not fantastic. You move a little bit, you know, so there's a little bit of that theory there versus the Obsidian Lamia, which is very much about fluid movement and better positioning. Another example of this phenomenon is the backhanded blade, the bane of all you know, people playing the fucking of PvP. It got nerfed for good reason. But look, when you two-hand it, like, you are constantly moving forward, flowing. It is a great chasing weapon. You know, because if we take, you know, other curved swords, you know, hypothetically, let's take the Shotel and the Scavenger's curved sword, you know, they move forward a little bit, but the amount you're moving in comparison with something like the backhanded blade, like is like kind of crazy. And I would even argue that the armor slash movement things compared to another DLC weapon like the Falx, I would argue gets you gets you forward a little further. It's all very much heavy movement based things that were, you know, like, this is the type of thing that FromSoft is doing. It also is reflected in their boss design. You know, the bosses of the base game, like, kind of crap out initially when you are, you know, fighting them with spirit summons or other players. You know, they're not particularly able to handle that, and because they aren't really good at, their AI isn't that good in that sense, you know, it's easier to cheese them. There's a reason why the Mimic tier was able to basically trunce like every boss in the base game and is still considered best in slot as far as spirit summons are concerned, so long as you don't have dog shit buildings. But in the DLC, you see something patently different. you see the fact that, hey, when I summon something against a boss, it'll maybe focus the other players or something, but what it'll do most of the time instead will be it'll focus me. You know, and they're also the movesets of the bosses themselves lend themselves better to being able to handle multiple enemies. So AoE attacks, or sweeping attacks, being able and more intelligently being able to focus between different enemies. Fromsoft very much is looking at something like a Monster Hunter as an action game as a sort of, template for how they want the movement and feel of their games to go. I would not be surprised if we see in the future of Fromsoft games fundamental changes to how the multiplayer works, and something like seamless co-op becoming something more considered the norm, like a seamless co-op, that mod for Elden Ring becoming more closer to what Elden Ring PvE cooperation looks like. So I think I think that the game design of Shadow of the Erdtree betrays the ultimate goal of what FromSoft is trying to do, and I ultimately do think that personally is a really, really good thing. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to talk to me outside of this video, outside of live streams, or just join the community and be a part of it, you can do so at HIMediaTV/Discord. Discord links there. We'd love to have you. And given the financial situation of the economy right now, I know this is a tall ask, but if you have the scratch to spare, please consider donating and becoming a supporter at HIMedia.gg/tip. All of our perks are serviced through our Discord channel, including early access videos, exclusive videos, and more. Your generosity is a blessing, and $1 a month is a boon to my mental health. Thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate you, and have a great day.